Hey everyone, this week I'm back sharing with you my week in the life of a fractional sales leader, which includes what I've been up to in the sales space, but also what I've been doing to try to keep fit or be a little bit more active and keep the brain clear. So during this past week, in my world as a fractional sales leader, some of the areas that I've covered off with some of my clients have been recruitment, doing a bit of recruitment, helping with territory plans with some of the teams, and also discussing cross-sell, upsell opportunities. So I thought this week I'd cover off those three items in today's update. But anyway, first, my week of exercise, which is probably flatline this week, really. I had a couple of days traveling, although I did get walks in. Certainly the cycling has lacked this week. My recent niggles with knees and shoulders are definitely on the improve, and I would like to say I'm probably 80% back from recovery of that, which is good. So I've continued my sit-ups every day. I'll give you my stats at the end here, but yeah, done my 25 sit-ups each day. Never forget those, and I ideally do them first thing in the morning following my walk or my bike ride. Get it done, nailed. Sometimes I forget, remember during the day and find a quiet place and go and do them. I haven't done any push-ups and haven't done any more planking, but like hopefully revisit that next week and give you an update then. Did manage some cycling, probably about 30 Ks, not anywhere near the 40 or 50 or 60 K that I have managed to do on other times, but yeah, hoping to make amends to that from tomorrow. But did do my 25 Ks walking. Anyway, back to my sales work and what I've been up to as some examples in the past week. So the first one was recruitment. So I've been involved in a series of second round interviews for a client. The previous week I'd actually completed some second round interviews with another client. So certainly it's a sign of good times, I guess, as growth, and these are new headcounts for both of these clients, adding in account managers, business development managers. So yeah, that's positive. So bearing in mind with recruitment and questions and things like that, it is like a sales process in terms of, you need to be prepared and rehearsed with the flow of the interview, have an agenda, have important questions that you want to ask, so have some structure, but equally so, which is only fair for the applicant, is they know where they're going and what's ahead of them in the 35, 45, 55 minutes that they've got in the second round. Equally so, the candidate, should have an opportunity to speak, let alone ask some questions as well. Also in this week's interviews, this past week, we gave the candidates about 48 hours notice and said, here's a scenario and we'd like you to role play it just over the course of 5 minutes, basically. And it wasn't hard, and it certainly wasn't aimed at catching anyone out or making anyone really uncomfortable. But what it was, the idea was really just to see how that candidate would interact with a client and, not be too pushy, but provide value, and certainly inform the client of the benefits of buying this widget or investing in this solution. So, yeah, they all did well, and we've been able to determine our front runner for that, which is good. Second point, territory plan. So your financial year or end of financial year for most people is this month in New Zealand. I know in Australia it's the 30th of June, but planning isn't just sort of you do it, put it in the drawer, or look at it next year, or don't even look at it again. Territory plans are evolutional, I say, or evolutionary, and certainly having an annual plan is one thing, but actually having quarterly plans is equally important, and it's reviewing those quarterly plans and adjusting the next quarter's plan accordingly, because you may have had such great success you want to do more of that, and by the way, you actually want to stop doing some other stuff because it just hasn't met the mark. So usually I find territory plan well structured, written down so others can view and understand it as well as they feel right to do so. Targets, reflection on what's happened last quarter or last year, your goals, what you've achieved, what you haven't achieved, what you're going to achieve, who your client targets are, prospect targets, competitors. There might be new competitors entering your market. Some SWOT analysis, so strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external. Even your travel plan, including a travel plan where you're going to be, how you're going to get there, what's the reason for that piece of work or that piece of travel that you're doing, what does it align with. So then everyone's collaborating together and you're all singing from the same song sheet. Equally important is the plans are visible to the business. So the sales team can call out their needs and support that can help be achieved by other people in the business. It might be, say, marketing can see the vision of the sales team, customer success or support, the CEO, whatever it is. But if it's written down, it's a lot clearer than just emails being forwarded backwards and forwards and, oh, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm not doing this. Oh, what about that? That's hopeless. So it gives insights into what the sales team are planning to do. And, as a quarter goes by, it's actually, what did we do during that quarter? What do we miss? What do we achieve? All that sorts of good things. Final point is upsells and cross-sell opportunities. I've always been a fan of selling more to a client than trying to find a new client to sell something to. Forgive me if that sounds lazy, but it's not, because it's logical, and that's an existing client is more likely to buy from you than a prospective client, that repetitive business, because a prospective client doesn't really know you yet, or you're still building up your relationship or trust, or establishing your business's position for that client. So there's definitely a role to play with new business. Don't get me wrong, you've always got to be looking for new business, but we'll talk about that another day. Today is about cross-sell, upsell opportunities within the existing client base. How do you figure out what to sell to an existing client? Well, firstly, you could look at your existing client base and look at particular clients who spend the most with you. What are they buying? What are they focused on? Why do they do that? Understanding more from those existing clients, then applying those stories and mirroring it back to those smaller clients, identify gaps between that larger spending client and the smaller ones. The more you share of the client, more share of the client's wallet you can get means the competitors don't get a look in, right? The more you can get of that client's budget means, no one else is trying to take business away, because at the end of the day, you could lose it all. So going deep, far and wide is pretty good success. If you've got the ability to sell subscription-based services or SaaS or MRR or ARR to client, it's more palatable for them than a large, chunky one-off investment. It's obviously more palatable to you too, because you've got a continual subscription revenue stream, which also creates stickiness too, so the client's attached to you better and better as it goes. So definitely have a good look at your best clients who buy a lot from you and note their purchase patterns, and then start working down your client list, identifying gaps in these clients to sell into. Easy. Yeah, it is. My second tip here is looking at clients in the same industry. So you've got two clients, they're both in the transport industry. One invests heavily with you and you serve them very well. Another one is just like buying one of your 5 services or one of your 5 offerings. And it's like mirroring back to the client who's not spending so much, and like understanding why. Hey, telling them a story about this other client without naming names, same industry, but this is what they're up to. And more often than not, client, competitive industry, and no one likes to miss out on what their competitors might be up to. FOMO, fear of missing out. So it's a good conversation to be had with the ones that aren't investing as much as they possibly could. So that's my update there. I'll be back next week with some more stories from my week in the life of a fractional sales leader. But now my exercise stats for the week update there. So biked about 30k, so quite stable. It's a bit off the 40k the week before. Walked 25k, so that's certainly consistent, flatline, whatever you want to call it. Sit-ups, massive achievement. I've now done 802 days in a row of sit-ups. 802 days, so that's more than 2 years, not quite 3 years. Pretty stoked with that. And as I said, push-ups and planking, just got a pause on both of those at the moment. So anyway, have a great week, and I'll chat to you next week.